Hey, what's up, fun lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of June 24th, 2015. I'm Joe Fidua.
I am Chris Chavez.
And I'm Ashley King. It's good to have you back, Chris. We missed you last week.
Yeah, pretty stressful week. I feel like I'm getting a little sick now because I've been spending all this time in the hospital. I don't know if I caught Ebola or something, but
really, well, if you're gonna drop the hospital word, you better explain what happened. We didn't talk about it last week. You're fine, right?
Oh yeah, I'm good. So my brother and my sister got into a really bad accident. They were driving on the freeway early in the morning, heading to my grandma's house, and my sister somehow lost control of her car. I don't know if she tried to swerve or maybe trying to avoid hitting someone, but they have a big, not big SUV, but it's one of those Saturn SUVs. I forget what model specifically, but kind of known for being a little tipsy-turvy. So when she jerked the wheel, it just completely lost control, and she went over the guardrail. Car flipped maybe five times or so, so it just kept rolling down this big old hill off the side of the freeway. My sister had her seatbelt on, so she just got really banged up and blacked out. My brother didn't have his seatbelt, so he went flying out of one of the windows. I'm guessing it was his window, but all the windows were up, so I'm guessing maybe at some point they were flipping and turning and the windows cracked, and then he went flying through it. So he went flying maybe a good 30 feet through the air. But yeah, so sister woke up, saw my brother laying on the ground, started freaking out, and administered CPR and stuff, and then just a bunch of craziness. It was pretty wild. But so my brother was out, kind of in a coma, basically. Turns out there wasn't really too much bad with him. It just kind of banged up his head a little bit. There was some bleeding in his brain, which they were able to stabilize and get all that sorted out. So now he's just in the hospital and super meted up. I don't even know what he's saying half the time, but it's not brain damage or anything like that. It's just he's on a lot of morphine right now. So expected to make a full recovery whenever I guess he gets surgery on the shoulder or something, because I guess he had a little fractured shoulder. But other than that, yeah, he's gonna be fine. So
that's good to hear.
Lots of drama.
It is good to hear.
Yeah, and it sucked because I was on my way to E3. I had requested days off to go to E3, and I mean, as we're pulling up, as we're getting there, I get the call from my sister's boyfriend, and I was just like, ha ha ha, way to ruin my day. It's gonna have such a fun time, but.
Well, we don't want to talk about E3 anymore. We talked about it last week a lot, and got some comments that we didn't talk enough about phones, so by golly, we got a lot of phone stuff to talk about this week.
Let's do it.
Lots of little phone things, yeah.
All right, so I guess this is actually a phone thing to start off with, but Google Play Music, they have free streaming now. The channels that they had from Songza, where you can click on a mood or whatever, that's free now for everyone. It was included in Google Play Music All Access, and I am super excited about that.
Have you tried?
Those channels are pretty amazing, though. I started using their Get Energized channel for working out, and it plays some really good music.
All pumped, Eye of the Tiger?
Yeah.
You're not lying. I love those channels, actually. They're really cool. I had the 3-month trial for when I got my Nexus 6, and I used it all the time, and just recently it ended, and I was really bummed out. I don't really want to pay for all access, but I was missing that, and then just a little bit later, all of a sudden, now everyone has it, so awesome.
That's great. Have you guys used the new free, how it is now, the ad-supported channels? I haven't tried it yet, but I heard that there's a lot of commercials or ads in between.
What are the ad-supported channels?
It should be everything that it was that included on the Google Play stuff are all access, but now it's just there's ads in between the music, and apparently there's a lot of them. I haven't tried it yet. I was streaming something through my computer, but I don't think it was actually those channels. But
I haven't messed around with the ad-supported stuff because I have an all-access subscription, but I'm curious how many ads, because I use Pandora a lot too. And
yeah.
They have an
Not
ad.
too bad.
They have an ad thing where if you interact with their ad or whatever, they won't show you anymore for 4 hours, which is a pretty
Right.
decent long time.
That is a super. I didn't even know that actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the sad thing is I'm so lazy that I usually skip those and just be like,
I'll just listen to the
I'll
ads.
keep listening.
yeah, I'll just listen to another ad in a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Pandora ads really are not that intrusive, and I haven't heard any of the ads in the Google Play Music thing yet, so
yeah,
we'll see. I actually don't even see those stations showing up in the phone app for some reason. I only see them showing up on the web.
Interesting.
I'll have to look into that more. But yeah, cool. Good job, Google.
Cool.
Speaking of Google, they have a crazy virtual reality rig with 16 GoPro cameras on that they want people to use to create more virtual reality content. I think that's what it's for, right?
Yeah, they're calling it Jump VR, and so I'm guessing it's just like a really, I wouldn't say rudimentary VR type setup, but it's odd because normally VR cameras and stuff we've seen a couple of other solutions where it's just like they use like maybe 2 extremely wide angle lenses, or there's one where there's one lens but it shoots up into this like mirror that kind of shoots the image and captures it everywhere. But this one's really weird because it's just 16 GoPros, literally just like a carousel of them going around. I don't know if it's a helmet or what, but I mean I guess you're supposed to hook it up to just like a tripod or something, but it's interesting. They're taking invites right now for people to who want to use it, but I mean chances are you're going to have to be some kind of like big name creative type that's already kind of involved in a lot of some of this video stuff, because I mean they're not going to send it to just any Joe Schmo who's just sitting on his couch like like me all day. But it looks interesting. It looks interesting, and it's kind of weird because it just looks like a bunch of GoPros like stapled together, or glued together.
Yeah, it is cool because like we need more virtual reality content.
Oh, speaking of VR content,
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys remember a while back, a couple weeks ago, I wrote about Adult Swim was giving away these VR headsets, these Google Cardboard ones. Anyways, a lot of people called BS on the article. For some odd reason, they said that Adult Swim was trolling because they posted something on Twitter and they just said trolling, and everyone's like, oh, this is probably talking about. Anyway, a lot of people didn't believe it. All you had to do was send them in a fax. Like you had to literally fax them in a paper, which I did immediately, and I got it in the mail a couple days ago.
Dang, I should have did that.
Conan is actually doing a promotion like that too. Like right now, you can sign up and he'll
Conan
send
O'Brien?
you. Mhm. Yeah, he'll send you a Google Cardboard. It's got like a, those Funko Pop figures of all like pop culture things.
Oh yeah.
He's got a version of him on the side of it with his crazy orange hair.
What? That's
Dude, I want that one. I'm filling this form out right now.
Yeah, I did that earlier. So
this is awesome because this one has, it has the little plastic lenses in it, and then it has this little magnet, little button here on the side, little slider. You like pull it down and it goes back up by a magnet, and then Velcro kind of holding the top in. But you slide your phone in, and it works so well. Like I used the Adult Swim app, their little VR app they have, and it was like a complete trip. Like I had friends over and they were all using it, and everyone was just freaking out.
What phones are compatible with that one?
I think the only phone that really I tried using it with was the Nexus 5. It won't fit the Nexus 6 in it at all.
I think it's way too big.
To be fair, not very many things can fit the Nexus 6, but it seems like that would work fine. The Galaxy S6 would probably work okay too, but it's kind of, there's really nothing holding it into place that well. So if you're not holding the phone in, it's gonna slide out and probably break. Like my Galaxy S6 did break the other day. Just BT dubs.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that later, I guess.
That's cool though. You should do like a hands-on video or something with that VR thing. It's because no one believed you, and now look, you have it.
I was literally gonna go back to that post. I'm gonna take a few pictures, and I was gonna update that post. Like, look, see, I told you guys it was real.
Yeah. You should at least take a few pictures and post it. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on, phone stuff. The OnePlus 2, which we haven't talked a whole lot about on this podcast yet.
Equals 3.
Yeah. Last time we talked about it, I think we were still calling it the OnePlus 2, spelling out 2, but now we know it's just the number 2.
The number 2.
That's not in the news, I swear.
That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, all right, on to the next topic. No, so the OnePlus 2 is going to have USB Type-C, and that is the new standard for charging, and it's like the reversible cable where you don't have to worry about what way you plug it in. I think that's probably the feature that most people are excited about, but it also has other benefits. Like I think it charges your phones slightly faster too, without being what do you call it, fast charging.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can like transfer files faster and stuff like that. So that's cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure the next like wave of Android devices are all going to have USB Type-C, and then pretty soon it'll be completely normal.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I remember just moving from mini to micro USB was like, it took a while. It was really frustrating because my phone had it, and then I had all these accessories, and I still had to keep like 2 separate USB cables for everything, and it was just a little frustrating. But now, I mean, everything on the planet uses micro USB, so once they move to Type-C, it's going to be great.
Yeah, and that's true. There will be that little period of, oh, now I can't just use every cable I have laying around, but yeah, we'll get over it.
Yeah, we will.
And then there are some other specs. I guess they said that they're using the Snapdragon S10, and I guess there was a little bit of a controversy or something there because OnePlus released like a picture of their whole team because people were mad that they were using the S10 and saying, "Oh, it overheats," and OnePlus is basically just like, "Chill, guys, it's gonna be fine." And they said that it doesn't overheat, so I guess we don't have to worry about that.
Same thing about the OnePlus One. Chill, guys, it'll be fine, and it wasn't. It wasn't fine at all.
That's true. Yeah. The phone was fine, but everything around the phone was not fine.
I'm not sold on the S10 because there's overheating stuff isn't a big deal because you can just you'll throttle down the performance or whatever to keep it at a nice even temperature, which really doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me when my phone gets hot as long as it doesn't like burn my hand. So I don't know, people always freak out about that, but performance does really concern me. And if you have to throttle down performance just to get that temperature the way you want it, a nice comfortable for people not to get all freaking out about, you will notice a dip. And on the HTC One M9, we saw that, or I've seen it, where it's simply not as fast as the One M8, which is a huge fail to me because, yeah, it's got the quad core, and it's got, not even quad, I think it's like an octa-core. You got the 4 low-power cores, which are like kind of just doing whatever, and you got these other ones that are now like 1.6 gigahertz versus I think the One M8 had, it was like 2.3 gigahertz or something. So it's just not as snappy and like as responsive and quick at opening apps or just doing pretty much anything. It just feels a little more sluggish and laggy, and it's something that I really did notice. So I'm not concerned about the S10 as far as like heating goes, but when it comes to performance, I'm not sold on the S10 at all, and that actually kind of concerns me a lot when any phone says, "Oh, we got an S10 now." It's think I'll pass.
Yeah. Well, they say they've gone through a few revisions, so hopefully by now they have all that stuff taken care of.
Yeah,
we'll see. The other thing people were a little upset about is that OnePlus said it's going to cost more than the $322 that the OnePlus One cost. They didn't say how much more. They just said it will be more. And, of course, people are always going to be upset when something is more expensive. But if the phone is better, it might be worth it.
Sorry, Rob's hitting me up on Skype. That's true. I mean, if it is going to be better and the hardware is going to, it's kind of expected, but you would think that the way technology works is that, it's kind of like what Apple does every year. They release a new MacBook with better specs, but the price stays the same. You would think they could do that somehow. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're using better technology now, but that's because the old technology isn't worth as much. So, I mean, it should. I don't really think the price should go up that much, but that was kind of the whole thing about OnePlus. The thing was is that they had that low price point, and that you'd never had to settle because you could get top-notch hardware in a very, very low price, or just regular Nexus type pricing. So it'll be interesting to see how much more expensive it is. No matter what, we know that it's going to be more expensive than last year's model. So now we just have to wait to see exactly how much more expensive.
Speaking of never settle, did you guys see that? I'm sure you saw that Verizon is using that never settle hashtag, and OnePlus is like trying to start a campaign or something to get the hashtag back.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
There's not that many people like that know about OnePlus, let alone that are in the U.S. and know what Verizon's doing with their their dumb little hashtag. It's ridiculous.
And I started noticing recently that T-Mobile is actually making fun of the never settle hashtag that Verizon's using. So now T-Mobile is using it too. It's like
ripping on it.
It's gone, OnePlus. Just forget about it.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny to use that like as your hook. It wasn't a trademark or anything like that. It was just their like kind of like unofficial hashtag, and it's
it was like in all their marketing campaigns and things.
Yeah. And no matter what, you can't like, oh, we're going to sue you for using our hashtag. It's not something that you can, I guess, trademark or anything. At least not yet. But
I mean, they could have, but they didn't. So.
Yeah.
And to me, it just goes to show how small and insignificant OnePlus is in the grand scheme of things. Like Verizon probably had absolutely no idea what OnePlus is or any of this never settle stuff.
I mean, maybe they did. They literally did not care.
OnePlus is just like a little guy poking a giant. Be like, hey, give us that back.
So sad. So sad.
All right, so Pebble Time pre-order is started a couple days ago. How much does it cost for pre-order?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how much it is to pre-order. I think it's $180.
Yeah. And it ships July 22nd. But Chris, you have one right now, don't you?
I got one. Yeah, it finally came in the mail. I think like a couple days ago. But I was super hyped. It's cool. It's cool. I thought I was gonna love it. Okay, so when I moved to Android Wear, I thought that it was kind of hard because I'd been using my Pebble the entire time. So when I moved to Android Wear, it was kind of like I was missing all this stuff about my Pebble, the battery life, and actually kind of like the physical controls and doing all that stuff. But now I've been using Android Wear for almost a year now, and it's hard. It's really hard to go back to the Pebble. I mean, I can't even. It's the screen on the Pebble Time is so tiny. Like I feel like I have to struggle to just read text or do any of that stuff. Let alone just the brightness of the display is still like that kind of side lit. It's like those old, what was it, like the original Game Boy Advance that came.
Oh, those are the worst.
So it's just all washed out. Everything's purple. And you're like, cool, I got a color display, but once you get that light on there, you can't tell what the colors are anymore because it's just like, bleh.
So do you think you don't like it as much because you're so used to Android Wear, or because the software is just completely different from the last time you used the Pebble? Like, do you prefer the Pebble UI?
In some regards, yes, but maybe not even so much. I think it's really just because I've gotten so used to Android Wear, and I thought Android Wear was like clunky and kind of hard to use and this and that, but to me, it makes a whole lot more sense than what Pebble's doing now with their UI and all that stuff. It's really difficult. I mean, one of the cool things about it was the battery life of the original, which I got maybe like 4, even 5 days out of it. This one, I'm going, it's barely 2 or 3 days. It's just like
really,
I had it unplugged and I was just testing it out for the past 3 days now, and it's like it's already dead, and I'm just put it on the charger right now. But I mean, it charges really quick, so that's not really an issue. And it's just really plasticky. It just doesn't really feel too premium. I think what I should have probably have done is opted for the steel version, which maybe I will do. Maybe I'll just sell this.
You have to wait
one.
even longer for that one, though.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, I'm sure it'll just be a waste of money because by then you're going to have like the Moto 362. You're going to have all these new Android devices that are just going to be even better and cooler. So it's just, I don't know. I think Android Wear blows it out of the water. And anyone who's kind of sitting on the fence about whether or not they should get maybe a Pebble Time or like a Moto 360 or any of these other ones, get the Android Wear ones. They really are leaps.
Well, I wouldn't say that for everyone. I mean, it really does depend on who you are because I flip-flop between both quite frequently, and as soon as I think one is better than the other one,
you go back to the other one.
I go back to the other. Like right now, I'm using my Moto 360 because I'll talk about a little bit later the update it got. Before that, I was using the Pebble for a long time. Before that, I was using Moto 360 for a long time, and I don't know. I really want to try the new UI on the Pebble Time and see how that is.
Frustration is that there's maybe only like 5 watch faces right now. There's only
like colored ones, you mean?
Yeah, the new colored ones, and you can the old apps are compatible with it, so you can kind of jump back to those, but those just look really ugly, and I mean they're not as like high resolution. They're just not in color, and they don't have all the cool animations and stuff, which I do love about. It's weird that the Pebble Time, like the UI wise, it feels more material than even like the Android Wear does, because it's got like you swipe between stuff and it's like it's got all these.
Yeah, the Android Wear actually is not material design like at all. It's Google Now cards.
Yeah, that's it. You just get Google Now cards, but whereas Pebble Time, it feels very, very material animation. It's kind of awesome, and I actually like that part a lot. But I can see how some people will think it's a little too kiddie. I mean, like the alarm clock, it's got like a little happy face on it, and it's just all very simple and very cartoony and stuff. But I like it. I think it's just a little early. I'm gonna keep sticking it out for a while and see how it does. But I don't feel as as cool or as fashionable as I did wearing my Moto 360. I had that nice little leather band. I had the cool, it's like metal around it. It just felt really, really cool when I wore it out. Like, yeah, it looks nice. This one, I just feel like a little kid or something wearing a little watch. It's weird.
Yeah, I never was really a big fan of the Pebble Time, how it looks, just the hardware. So
yeah, bezel on top of bezel, and then you have a little tiny display, itty bitty display.
All right, so yeah, if you pre-order that, it's gonna ship July 22nd.
Yep.
All right, moving on to iOS. This is something that I thought was kind of interesting. Apparently, if you have a ton of apps installed on your iPhone or iPad or whatever, iOS 9 will actually uninstall apps to make room for a software update, and then after the update has installed, it will reinstall those apps, and it will save all of your user information.
Yeah, like it always does. Genius.
That's a new. I thought that was new. That was the story. Was that it was new in iOS 9? It's been doing that before.
No. The data is always saved regardless. So it's using like Apple's strength in that which is you can factory reset and then you can restore, and everything's back to the way it was when you first had it. All your passwords are in there. You don't have to.
Are you serious? I never knew iOS did that.
Yeah, so on Android, you're like, oh, cool, it's re-downloading stuff from the Google Play Store, but then I got to open the app, I got to re-log in, this and that. On iOS, that's not the case. You can have a game, and you can get far, put in 30 hours in Final Fantasy, get an entirely new iOS device, and all those game saves, everything is going to restore perfectly as it was on your last device. So
you're kind of blowing my mind right now.
It's literally the reason why whenever I go to buy a mobile game or something, I don't buy it on Android because I'm constantly in all these new
I'm the
phones.
same way, Chris.
I will get it on iOS, and I don't have to worry about it.
If it's something that I really want to play, I will play it on my iPad just because I know if I delete it and decide I want to play it again, my stuff will still be there, even if I get a new device.
Awesome.
I was going to use this as an opportunity to say that Android should be like this, and now that I know that iPhone has been doing it forever, seriously, why?
Why? Well, because I think with Lollipop, people were freaking out because now you can see when you first do the setup wizard or whatever, and you first get a new device, you can see the list of apps that you had installed, and you're like, oh, awesome. And I think it was back in KitKat or something, there was this option where it was restore the data from apps when reinstalling them. So it's back up my apps and app data, but it never did it. I don't know what it's even referring to, but it literally has never done it.
Well, now there's that new thing in Android M too.
Yeah, now they're finally. I mean, it's been freaking years, and it's like, it's funny. I like Android M a lot, and they did, without a doubt, borrowed a few more like ideas from iOS, and whether it's like the permissions, asking on demand when they're looking to use something on your phone, or the whole app backup, data backup stuff. Those are awesome iOS features, and the fact that Android's using it now is great. But I mean, they really got those ideas from Apple. So hopefully in Android M we actually see it being implemented well. I think it's still kind of up for developers to use or put it into their, and I think which is
I mean, it could end up just like the KitKat thing, and it just doesn't work, and no.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm paranoid about it. I'm a little worried, but hopefully it does work, because this is what we need. This is like what people have been asking for forever.
Yeah, that would be amazing. There's this game that I play a lot called, I think it was an app pick that you had a while ago, called Evil Apples. It's like Cards Against Humanity on your phone. But anyway, that app is so stupid because it doesn't have user accounts. So you literally, like every time I have a new phone or I reset my current phone, you can't log in with any account to like go back into your games. You have to create a new account every single time. So every time you have a new phone, like you basically have to start all over, and you can't get back into your old games, and it's the worst.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that. That actually really sucks, because you can't just like say I'm gonna play on my tablet like while my phone is charging or something. You have to.
You can't play on multiple devices. It's the worst.
That's a really bad idea. I don't know. Those guys, what are they doing?
Oh, I gave them a bad review.
Best believe.
And that'll change everything. All right, so the LG G4, my favorite phone. I guess the sales have not met LG's forecast, but apparently it's still selling pretty well, and it actually is probably the best-selling LG phone to date. So,
that's a success in my.
Yeah, my roommate just upgraded his G2 to a G4 yesterday, and I was playing around with it.
Yeah,
and I was super excited to see like how crystal clear the screen is. Like,
and
you can really tell that it's a different IPS display than what they've ever had in their previous phones. Just comparing it side by side to my G3.
Yeah,
and now I really want one.
The thing that kind of bothers me is the camera. Like my brother who got in the accident, he actually had just gotten the G4. So at some point when he went flying through the windshield or whatever, his G4 went flying somewhere too. So they found it eventually, and that thing's like in perfect shape and everything. Leather looks all nice. So I got to play with it when he was in the hospital and stuff. I wanted to take it home, but my mom wouldn't let me. But the camera, I wasn't too impressed with the camera. Like, it's supposed to be really, really good, or up there with the Galaxy
S6. Dude, it was
S6.
flown out through a car, man.
Chris is like, I don't like the camera on this phone, but it has been in a car crash.
The camera was operational, but I guess the S6 wouldn't have probably survived that, but so that's saying something. But just camera quality-wise, the S6 camera, it keeps blowing me away. Like every day I use it, it's just. That's all I can pretty much use on it now because the phone is completely shattered. But
I still like it a lot. One thing I've noticed is just, I don't know, every once in a while I feel like it's if I haven't restarted the phone for a long time, like it'll get a little sluggish. I'll notice it. Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, that's weird. And so I'll just restart it and it'll be fine.
That's actually the same problem with the Galaxy S6, honestly. It's a little bit weird like that. And then I noticed something on the Nexus 6 like that too, where it was just like I was using it for a while. Started getting really warm for no reason. Gave it a little reboot, and then everything went back to normal. But it's tough when you have like these different Android devices and stuff, because it's like you never know, is it like an LG software issue? Is it a rogue app that I installed? Or is it like the base Android lollipop firmware that's causing this trouble? Or is it just faulty hardware? And there's like all these variables, and there's really...
Yeah, that's the one that I'm always thinking about, because this one that I have is that Korean model that they gave us at the event. So I'm like, well, is this just something that this model kind of has, or is this LG G4 thing in general. So yeah.
It's Android problems, man. That's just something you kind of have to deal with. With the S6, I mean, I put it in my review and everything, but with the S6 Edge and the S6 that I got from T-Mobile, both of those phones were dying so quick. I mean, even in standby, which they're supposed to be doing really well in, the battery just constantly kept dying, like as if you were just using it. So I knew it was something to do with, I don't know, the software or hardware. I don't know what it was, because I mean there was reviews all over the place. Some people were saying they're getting really good standbys. Some people were saying they get really terrible ones. I had friends sending me screenshots of their awesome standby times, but mine was just really terrible. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick it out. Like maybe a future software update will fix it. And then it just got 5.1.1 last week, the week before. And my battery life stuff is awesome now. Like now it's completely functional. Standby time is great on it. It's just like everyone else was saying. So I actually have to go back and edit my review on it. But so in that case, I thought it was hardware. Turned out it was just really sucky Samsung software or something. So that was patched up. So yeah, it's hard to tell like what these darn issues are coming from and stuff. It's really frustrating.
So Ashley, were you convinced by your experience do you still want to upgrade to that?
I do. I haven't played around with the camera enough to compare shots between the G4 and the G3, so I think I'm going to do that this weekend.
Play with an S6. Just mess around with an S6 a little. Just make sure you're really gentle with it. But other than that, I mean, I think you should really give the S6 a shot. It's really nice.
Don't listen to him.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've had a Samsung phone. My last Samsung phone was seriously the Galaxy Captivate.
Even better. That's even better because now it's like it's so different now. Like that's actually the best reason to go back and return to it. That's usually what I do. I wait a couple generations, go back to return to something I used to hate, and it's like, oh, this isn't so bad anymore. Yeah. I think you should definitely give it a shot, for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to consider it. I definitely will.
All right. Before we get into our wins and fails of the week, just a couple things I wanted to mention going on Phandroid right now. We have a massive Phandroid reader poll happening right now where you can answer a bunch of questions about basically what you'd like to see on Phandroid and what's your favorite content and stuff like that. So if you haven't done that, make sure to do that. There's a section about features, and the podcast is in there. So if you like the podcast, make sure you vote for that. Yes. We also have another fan faves up, which is something we haven't done in a long time. We're asking you guys what is your favorite email app for Android. So if you have an email app that you currently are in love with, go vote for that. What email apps do you guys use?
Gmail?
Yeah, I just use the standard Gmail. I downloaded Inbox, but I don't know if the flow of it suits the way I read email.
Yeah, I like the idea and the concept, and I'm like, this is great. Like, you could put stuff, save it for later, do all this stuff, but it's just too weird, and I feel like I'm missing something. Or
I feel like I'm missing a lot when I look at that.
That's exactly like, I think I've mentioned it a few times, but that's exactly why I only use Inbox on mobile, and when I'm on my computer, I have to have the full Gmail experience.
Yeah, maybe I'll try doing that. I mean, I tried going to Inbox every once in a while, but it's tough.
I've tried so many email apps. I used to love Cloud Magic, was one of my favorites. I used that for a long time. I'm trying to remember the name of the other one. Oh, when I first started using Android, I used K9 Mail, which I discovered.
I remember K9 Mail.
That still exists, I discovered today.
Oh, are they updating it? Like, is it still modern?
Quite a few people have voted for it in our poll already, so I think it is. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like finding those Android apps that have been around just forever, and they're still kicking, still getting updated. It's cool to see that.
Oh, we should. That would be a really cool Throwback Thursday or something. Like, find some really old app and show what it looked like back on Donut compared to what it looks like now, and how they're still.
Oh shoot, what is that? That ringtone maker app.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It had a name. I can't remember.
There's other ones. Like, there's some that are still like Gas Buddy. I remember Gas Buddy was like one of the first ones I installed on my G1. That one's still going on. The UI looks completely like trash, but it's still doing its thing.
Ringdroid. Ringdroid.
Oh, gosh.
It was updated June 23rd, 2015.
Honestly, that was one of the reasons why I upgraded to an Android device, because I was like, you can put any song like as your ringtone. Like, that was like a major selling point for me.
You know what's
So
funny about
ridiculous.
this Ringdroid is it was just updated yesterday, but the screenshots are still of
Oh
God, I don't
gosh,
even know what version. What had the white status
Froyo.
bar? Yeah, it's
Well,
still from
donut or Froyo, yeah, but
yeah. It's pre-gingerbread screenshot still. That's
what?
kind of funny. All right, so let's move on to our wins and fails of the week. And mine is,
Yeah.
like I alluded to, Android 5.1.1 came out for the Moto 360. I was actually lucky enough to get it 2 days after they announced the rollout, which I was really excited about because last time there was an update, it took me forever to get
And that
it.
happens to me anytime there's a rollout. I'm always one of the last people to get it.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm the last. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do this,
Yeah.
but
Well,
um,
I felt the exact same way, and so I just like I basically took it upon myself to be like, I am getting this update today, and I reset my watch 3 or 4 times and made sure I had the latest Android Wear app installed, Google Play Service, all that stuff. I did everything I possibly could, and all of a sudden there it happened. So it's really nice, actually. I like it a lot. I wasn't using my 360 for a while, and when I heard this update came out, I had to get it out, and I've been wearing it every day since. I love the app launcher. I used to not be a fan of app launchers on Android Wear, but the way that Google has done it, I find it really handy, and I've actually used apps on the watch a lot more than I used to. I was never really a big app user on the watch, but just kind of swipe over and you can see, being able to just see the last app that you opened makes it a bajillion times more convenient because you used to have to do a bunch of steps just to get to any app.
and then when the screen went off,
Exactly.
you had to go back and do it all over again. It
Yeah,
was
so that
almost
fixes so
frustrating.
many issues just having that there. But yeah, it's just I like it a lot in general. And battery life, everyone was asking about battery life. Battery life is pretty much the same as it was before. I haven't noticed anything different positively or negatively. So it's a good update. I'm glad. I feel like it's a more mature version of Android Wear. Like they've cleaned up a lot of stuff. They fixed a lot of little things. They added some cool things. It just feels a lot more refined. And you have it on yours, right, Chris?
Yeah, I got it pretty quick too.
Do you like it?
It's pretty darn nice. I mean, as soon as I got the update, that's when my Pebble came in. So as it was like doing its whole thing, the update process, it's like ding dong, FedEx comes, and I have my Pebble. So I started using my Pebble right then. But my girlfriend, I gave it to her. I played around with it a little bit, and it's freaking amazing. It's like it's what Android Wear should have been when it launched, to be honest. But it changes everything. It really does.
It changes everything.
Anyone's ever had an Android Wear device before, maybe didn't really care for it too much, or there's most little. It's kind of big on her weird little tiny little wrist.
Yeah, that
See,
thing looks huge.
that's why I don't have one yet,
love it.
because I have small wrists like Mo does, and I'm not about that.
Not about that life. It looks funny, but she likes it though, and it's cool. That update is just amazing.
The two features that it has that I didn't think I would use a lot, the drawing emojis and the wrist gestures, I actually have found myself using quite a bit. So
Oh, drawing emojis. Mo, have you tried the drawing emoji thing? You can reply to like messages and draw an emoji, and it'll
yeah,
know
when
what
you get a
emoji.
message and you just swipe over to reply, you can swipe
Yeah.
up and draw emoji, yeah. And the wrist gesture thing is really cool. Like the other day my hands were all dirty in the kitchen and I was just like flipping through and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty handy.
Dang, yeah, that is cool. I was at the movies with my Pebble Time, and it was like I didn't want to get my greasy fingers all over it because you have to physically like. I was just thinking, man, that freaking flick gesture would have came in so much handy.
Yeah. All right, my fail of the week is going to be Nokia finally probably being dead in terms of making phones, mainstream phones for like flagship phones, because we forgot to talk about it last week, but Stephen Elop and Joe Harlow, who are like the two remaining people from Nokia at Microsoft, they are leaving the company. They've moved on. And so basically, there's nothing left of Nokia at Microsoft anymore.
Yeah.
That's just what Stephen Elop wants you to think. Like they're sending him out to scout what companies they need to
He'll
acquire
go bring
next.
in another company, but in the meantime, Nokia is dead. I mean, I don't even remember the last phone that Nokia made for Windows Phone. It's been ages, it feels like, and the one that it was is just like a mid-range cheapo phone that you could buy off contract. They haven't made any significant phone in a long time, and I just look back and I feel like they made some decisions that probably were not the best.
One thing I could say about Nokia after having used their phones, their Windows phones, is they always had like excellent build quality. Even their mid-range handsets were well put together. You didn't feel like they were really cheap.
They absolutely made great phones, great cameras, great everything. And just the one problem they had was people didn't use Windows Phone. And there was that time when it was like, should Nokia go to Windows Phone or Android? And of course, me writing for WinSource and whatnot, I was glad that they went with Windows Phone. But I look back now and it's just like, what would have happened if Nokia would have went with Android?
I would love to have like a modern Android phone that had the same build quality as the Nokia 920. I still love that phone.
Yeah, I mean, just think of all those great Windows Phone devices that Nokia made, and just imagine if they would have had Android, like the Lumia 1020, that crazy awesome camera. I mean, you can't tell me that thing wouldn't have sold a million times better
if it had been Android.
Yeah. So it just kind of sucks because, yeah, like you said, Nokia has made great hardware for a long time, and now their future is not looking too good.
Sad.
Yes, indeed. All right, Chris, what do you got for us?
My win for the week is going to be Project Fi. Wi-Fi.
Fi.
I got an invite, and since now that I have an Nexus 6, at first I was just, originally when they first talked about, opening up the invite stuff, I signed up for it because I was just like, you never know, maybe I'll just, I don't know. But I got a Nexus 6, which I love, by the way, and decided, hey, since I got an invite, why don't I go ahead and sign up? So I signed up. I marked it down to the lowest, the 1 gigabyte option. I don't even know why they ask you that, but there's like the 3 gigabyte or 5 gigabytes, and it doesn't matter if you don't use 5, they give you a refund. If you use over the 1 gigabytes, they just charge you normally. So it's just,
you pay up front, right?
Yeah.
That's why you choose, because, you could choose like the maximum, but then you'd have to pay a bunch of money up front.
Why not just choose the minimum then? Why doesn't everyone just choose a minimum and then just pay for if you do go above 1 gigabyte?
Because if you know that you're going to always be using 2 gigabytes, you might as well just...
who knows that, though? Who knows that?
But I think most people have a pretty good idea how much data they use.
I have no idea how much data I use. I still don't. It's varied. Like some months I'll use like nothing. Other months I'll like stream a Netflix video, and it's just, it goes through the roof. But so I got a Project Fi invite. They're gonna send me like that whole welcome package, which it includes a battery, a pretty substantial portable battery charger, a Nexus 6 case.
What kind of case?
Headphones. It's just like it's like a regular white like snap-on case. That says Fi on the back or something, Project Fi. Which actually makes me kind of regret buying the Spigen, but I got it when it was on sale, so. So that's cool. Comes with headphones and all that stuff. I'm only paying $30 for that first month. I'm not sure if I'll keep it, so I'll probably, just to see how it is, try it out and stuff, maybe write a review on it.
I'm really interested to hear your experience.
Yeah, I'm in the LA area, so we have pretty darn good Sprint service out here and T-Mobile, so it'll be interesting to see like which one it's jumping onto all the time. I don't know if it even tells you, but it'll be cool. So that's going to be my win. Super excited to try that out. I think it's shipping, so it'll be here, I think they said by the end of this month, 29th, so in a couple more days next week. And then my fail for the week is, there's kind of a few things that were my fail for the week, but I guess it's going to be, I'll put Pokemon Jukebox, which came out yesterday. An incredibly stupid, really dumb app.
If you like Pokemon music, it's okay, but I don't know anybody that likes music enough to just sit there and listen to it on their phone.
I don't know who in the right like who.
What
who
is
it's
it?
aimed
Explain
at.
to me
It's
what
just-
this is.
It's literally like an MP3 player or something, but it just
Of Pokemon
offers up
music.
Pokemon music.
Yeah.
That's it. From all the different games that they have on Game Boy Advance, and it's just.
So
That's
it's
it.
just like a
it's Nintendo's
Pokemon
first
soundtrack.
app too, and
It is
yeah,
not awesome, and let me tell you why it's not awesome. It's because every single track costs you $1. They have a couple of medleys which are $2. So you're like, oh, I want to listen to the fight music. That's $1. Oh, I want to listen to this one like level, like whatever. That's another $1. I mean, it's a total money grab. It's
Is it
almost
like free
embarrassing.
previews or anything?
Right now they have a preview period. So right now until tomorrow, or that was yesterday, so I think it's till today, you could have previewed the music for free, listen to whatever you want. And it's like the way the app is designed, I don't know, I don't play that much Pokemon, but it looks like I don't know if it's a Pokedex or something, but it's got all these weird little buttons and stuff, so it looks kind of interesting. And then it has sound effects, so you can just push random sound effects while listening to the music like you're kind of playing the game.
but you're not.
Why don't you just go play the dang game? I don't know, but it's just completely pointless. And if you want Pokemon music, there's a website. Someone linked it to you in the comments of that, and it has all the Pokemon music. Download the MP3s and just play it on your normal.
I think it's Nintendo trying to capitalize on all the different apps that offer sound bites from various video games. But
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen. Oh, you can listen to the music, or you can apply it as notification tones. You can use it for ringtones. That would be freaking awesome. I'm like, okay, I get that. Like that would be cool for people that don't really know how to do that stuff anyway. But yeah, I mean, right now it's completely dumb, and I mean it's free, so there's that. But it's just not what people want. It's not give the people what they want. Don't give them this crap.
That's too easy.
Yeah, that's my fail.
Don't you have another fail?
I mean, I thought I did.
I thought you had something about a broken phone and whatnot.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Okay, so. Jeez Christ, my Galaxy S6 Edge completely shattered, and it's probably kind of hard to see from here. Oh, you can see it. There's like a line going through the middle. I mean, there's shattered, splintered glass everywhere, but because of the design, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see. I mean, the rim only goes around the sides, and it goes around the top. So if you were to lean on something, this is something I never considered. When you put it in your pocket, you put it this way because it rests better in your pocket, but I recommend anyone that has it put it upside down. Anyways, I had it facing out, and I leaned against the table, and that's all glass right there. So if you lean against the table, when it's in your pocket, it just a little bend and crack. It just completely cracked.
Bengate.
Cracked this thing. I don't even know if there's a bend. It looks like it bounced back, so I don't really see any curve to it, but that was enough pressure that it just completely shattered the glass. And I didn't even know about it until, I didn't hear it crack or anything until like the very next day or something. I took it out of my pocket and was like, oh, what?
I wonder if that's happened to many other people.
Yeah, I couldn't even. I'm gonna have to take a picture and show people exactly how it happens and how to avoid it, maybe, because I don't think it's something you really consider. You never really think about that.
That would make a really funny post, actually. PSA: if you have the Galaxy S6 Edge, don't lean against stuff.
Like your worst enemy is like a table, pretty much. That's it. And it's gonna be funny because what was it? This is after my Droid Turbo. I wrote that post about the Droid Turbo. And then back in the day, I wrote it about the Nexus 4 when that thing shattered the back of it when I dropped it like this far off of like a table.
It's like speaking of giving people what they want, Chris breaking phones.
Yeah, I mean I should just start doing like what is it, drop test videos or hammer test videos or something. This is getting ridiculous. Super upset. I mean I've dropped my Nexus 6 a couple of times already. It's fine. I've dropped plenty of phones, but like this is just. These random weird occurrences.
You always have the strangest things that happen to your phone. You leave it in the freezer. You crack it on the edge of a table.
It's just so odd.
Oh yeah, something else. Have you seen that people are getting their coins, Chris?
No.
Yes, they are.
What the freak is this like happening?
I've seen a few people that I follow on Twitter have got them in like the last couple of weeks. You know who Taylor Martin is, right?
Yeah.
I just saw that he got his today.
What? Where are they gonna mail it to? That means it's probably sent to my parents' house. That was so long ago. Is there a website we can change like shipping address?
I don't know.
Coin.com? Coin? Nope,
No.
that's not it.
All right, Ashley, what do you have for us?
Mine is a fitness tracker. Have you guys ever messed with any of the Fitbit or Jawbone Up, those kind of things?
Yeah, I used to wear a Fitbit for a while.
I did too. I really liked it, and I have a Fitbit Flex here. But I was
Yeah.
curious that I saw this Pivotal Living tracker on Amazon for $15, and I was like, how can
$15?
$15? And I didn't know how they could create an accurate tracker. I thought, oh well, maybe it's not that good. So I bought it. I was curious, and for $15 I could not. So I wore it on one wrist and my Fitbit Flex on the other. So for like 3 or 4 days last week, I was looking really weird with 2 black things on my wrist. But comparing the data that I got from them, the $15 tracker is just as accurate as the Fitbit Flex. And
$15?
Yeah, $15.
That's pretty cool. I just looked up on Amazon, and it actually looks not but ugly like I expected.
Yeah,
$15
it's not hideous. The clasp is actually, it's been redesigned. The first gen, they had a clasp that would come undone, and it caused them to get a lot of bad reviews, but they did the refresh.
It looks kind of like the Xiaomi Mi Band, which is also really cheap. It's only like $20. It looks kind of like that.
I wonder if
Withings has a tracker that looks very similar to it too. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a fitness tracker that you just want to know your steps counted or how well you sleep at night, I mean, there's even an option in there for you to track how much water you're drinking. And
how's the app?
The app is decent. I wouldn't say it's great. The Fitbit app is definitely better, but they're constantly improving it, and I haven't had any problems on my G3 with it. It syncs perfectly.
This is cool. Because like your smartwatch does a lot of this stuff anyway, or most people's smartwatches, but a lot of people don't feel the need to buy a $150, $200
right.
smartwatch.
Like unless you're super serious about like tracking everything about what you do, most people wouldn't consider a Fitbit. But
cool.
For $15, you can basically have a Fitbit, and that's a big win in my book.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna use this as a gift. I'm gonna probably get it for my sister or something. She would love this.
Yeah.
I don't have a fail. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive. We're being positive.
Yeah. Well, hey, with that good of a win, I don't think you need to fail it. That's pretty awesome.
That's really cool.
All right.
Tracker 4 stars.
Let's do some app picks before we get out of here. My app pick, like I mentioned, I've been using my Moto 360 a lot lately. So I looked at the new offerings of watch faces, and one of the ones that I like a lot is called Timer, Timr. And I got a lot of people asking me about this when I did the video for the 5.1.1 update. A lot of people were asking me what watch face I was using. And this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. It is meant to look like kind of like an egg timer. So like the seconds are in that blue bar in the bottom, and it just smoothly scrolls.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it's really, you can change the background color and the accent color as the date, and you can even get the battery to display on it. So it's really nifty. I like it a lot. It's called Timer.
Cool.
My app pick is going to be, it's a wallpaper application, well, live wallpaper. I haven't used a live wallpaper in a very, very long time, but there's a few on the Google Play Store that are kind of like the material design, like the lollipop-ish, that like kind of paper, they move around and stuff. But this one I found, I tried a few of them. I didn't really like that many of them because they were really complicated to use and a little bit weird, but this one's actually really awesome. It's called Minima. And the developer makes a bunch of really cool little live wallpaper apps. And he's got another one called Fractal. So Minima is like supposed to be more minimal and more like lollipop with like the paper stuff, or just like regular minimal lines and all these cool designs. The designs are really awesome. It's so smooth in the way it works, and you move your phone around, and it uses like the gyroscope to kind of give you that crazy little effect and stuff.
Parallax
thing. It's freaking awesome, and it works so well and so smooth, and you can adjust the amount of the effect that you want to use. I kind of turn it down really low. just for a little added kick.
I have to check that out because I've been using Tap It for wallpapers, and it's really interesting.
He also makes another one called Fractal, which is like those polygon type. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like those weird. It's a bunch of little objects everywhere.
Yeah, like geometric.
Yeah, which was like really big. It was all the rage before the whole like lollipop stuff came in. And that one's freaking awesome too because it's almost like a 3D effect. So when you do move your phone around, like it like almost looks like it's refracting light and like the shades are changing. So awesome, so smooth, so awesome, and I'm totally in love with it. So that's Minima Live Wallpaper and Fractal Live Wallpaper. They're in the Google Play Store. There's a free version and a paid version. The free version still gives you like a pretty good amount of different wallpapers to use. So just check it out.
Cool.
My app is it's called Curator Quality Games. I don't know how often you guys browse the new games list on Android, but it's pretty messy, especially if you don't like social mobile games that are like, oh, like this on Facebook for 15 gems or 3 more lives. Like I hate that. So what Curated does is it gives you a way to browse Google Play Store with various settings. So if you want to completely leave out in-app transactions, you can sort things by whether they're free or if they're a turn-based strategy game. Yeah, it's really neat. It just come out like last week, I think.
Because I'm always browsing the stupid Play Store and I hate it because I see a game and like I just have to go by the icon. I click the icon and I have to read to see like what type of game it is, and I'm like, it's just such a process and stuff. That sounds really awesome.
And really, one of the things about playing games is you're usually in the mood for a specific type of game. So like, oh, I want to play a tower defense game. Well, there's a tower defense category, so you can see all the tower defense games.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if you saw, Ashley, but did you see I did a review of Ultraflow?
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I posted that yesterday, and actually when I get off the podcast today, I'm doing finishing up a review for Powder.
Did you like Powder too?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Not as good as Ultraflow, but
yeah, I like
fun.
Ultraflow better, but Powder seems like it has a little bit more skill to it, I think.
Yeah.
And Ultraflow is a little bit more luck.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of luck in Ultraflow. All right, so we got an email question actually sent in while we were recording, and it was from our old pal Daquan Johnson.
Yay, Daquan!
He came in at the last second. I was wondering where he was.
At the buzzer.
He asks, Amazon is finally bringing Lollipop to their devices, which I did not know. Do you think they are going to build a new flagship to launch with the new OS or stick to the tablet market?
I think they will stick to their tablet market because the Fire phone was a massive flop. Yeah, they couldn't give it away, so there will be no more Amazon phones.
No.
Yeah, that was kind of a fail.
It's completely done.
Amazon fail phone.
I mean, there's my fail, the Amazon phone.
Yeah. I mean, the commercials they had for that phone were just so weird. It was like little kids using
I couldn't stand the
phone
hipster little kids. Yeah, they really. I've never wanted to like punch a kid before, but I wanted to punch that kid in that commercial.
It's weird. I didn't even know they were still selling a Fire phone, but I went to Amazon today and it was like it's right there on the main tab. It's like 170 like unlocked or something.
You don't hear anything about it anymore.
They just came out with a new Kindle e-reader too recently. That's supposed to be really good. So they should just stick to e-readers and tablets.
Yeah, I have the Voyage. It's really good.
Yeah. All right, I think that's going to wrap things up for this week. If you want to send us an email like Daquan does every week, if you want to join Daquan, you can use our address podcast@mobileroar.com. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and pretty much anywhere else. You can follow the show on Twitter @MobileRoarCast, and you can follow us on Twitter. Chris is at GamerCore, Ashley is at Overlord Roar, and I am at Tall Schmo. And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Later.